I said in one program this morning that both sides have committed a harakiri. And the Rufai who asked me, he said, Baba, you were part of one side, so you cannot extricate yourself from being part of the harakiri. And I said to them, I wasn't part of her. Yes, when the convention finished, I called Ayu. I said, look, my friend, what is the next move? You know, the founding fathers, because of the experiences at the First Republic and the Second Republic, majority of the parliamentarians who are from majority tribes were in government. They controlled the government. Minorities were just there, mere onlookers. That created the division. There was no coalition. So you cannot have an organization as mighty as this country that because you were born into minority, you cannot benefit. There was nothing. No matter how much you struggle, you are just mere onlookers. So the experiences they had made Baba Ekweme to bring them all together. Because, you know, this is historical now. We don't need to hide it again in our party. We must let the public know, so that the public that will support us will know why there is this madness. Now, they then decided that there are 6 top positions. They created Nigeria into 6 geopolitical zones. If you look at those zones, you have the majority tribes, and in some zones, the minority tribes. They now decided 6 top positions in the land, 6 geopolitical zones, 3 in the north, northwest, northeast, south, north central. That's the minority. Southwest, southeast, south. That was the minority state. Now, they then said 6 top positions: the president, the vice president, the senate president, the speaker of the house, the secretary to the government, and the last one, chairman of the party. So each zone will go home with something that is at that level. It sorted out our problem. And that when there are 3 up, because there will be 3, if you look at it, if the president goes to the north, the vice president comes to the south, the senate president goes to the north, the speaker will go to the south, and on. So all the odd numbers will be in one zone, north, and the even numbers will be in the south. After 8 years of operation, all positions in the south will go back to the north, and all the positions in the north will come back to the south. That's how we operated. But suddenly, they say, I said, look, you can't contest for this. They had some flimsy excuses why they should allow everybody to contest, and promise that, oh, peradventure, the presidency comes from the north, then it means Ayu's position will come to the south. You know, at least giving it a balance. Of course, politics is politics. They deceived the major contender, who was his good friend. You can't blame him for that. If you trusted human being more than God, then you know the result. So we were not even bothered. Then we said, now you, Mr. Chairman, I spent 6 hours in his house telling him, you told us pointedly, publicly, that immediately peradventure the presidency comes from the north, I will resign. Now get your ass out of the place and resign. He said he has 4 years. I said, are you okay? He just turned 70 then. I said, you know, I'm much older than you. I came to your house, spent 6 hours trying to convince you. You will not budge. So You see, creating that problem. Presidency, not. Party chairman, not. Now, what do we take home to tell our people this is what we are bringing back to the Southwest? Then I went to Atiku and said, Mr. Vice President, talk to this your friend. All right? The thing, we have blown ourselves to the public, because I had never said this to the public. Now that we are in the public domain, we need the support of the people in the public to understand the basic needs, the lackluster attitude of our people. How you refuse? Atiku, tell your friend to allow us to take this thing down to the south. He said after election. After election, you decide what you give the south. I said, okay, no problem. He is still alive. I said, no problem. We will vote for you after election. Very simple, simply put. He is alive. Ask if I didn't ask him. And that was why Wike and Co now formed their own group and all this, and then they brought us there. And that's why I said the madness went through all sides. Then they now sat up there and they were looking what do they want to do and all that. Remember, they came to Lagos. They sucked me in with the intention of trying to right the wrong. Eventually, when we now sat 2 days before the general election, they now told me, say, Baba, they now have 2 deputies. I mean, they have 5 presidential candidates, 2 from the south. We should choose one as a group. I sat at the meeting. Then they zeroed back in on Bola Tinubu. At that meeting, after, they say, I am their leader. I said, Mr. Governor, none of you here knows Bola than me. He had been in Lagos State. That's my state. You have no idea that I will go home and tell Lagos people to vote for Bola Tinubu. Haba. He's not my enemy, but the procedure, his attitude to governance, and I can't. You have no idea who he is. And I said, if you go out there, because the press was waiting for us, and you make an announcement that we're taking a decision that will be on Bola's side, I will step aside and I will say, I am not part of your decision. He said, Baba, okay, what do we do? Another meeting. I said, very simple. Let every state go back home, take a decision whether they want to be or they take Bola Tinubu. That was our resolution. And I left from that day. You saw where they headed. So when this gentleman, Rufai, was asking me today, say, Baba, you are part of the Harakiri. I said, I am not. Since that day, before the election, I backed out. Because that was not going to swing in my concept. Because I know there will be a day like this when you must stand up to defend your concept. And the founding fathers will be turning in their graves today. Because what you will not like, don't do it for your fellow men. Now, you grab the chairmanship, you grab the presidential something. What do we have? You say after election. And so I came back home and told our people, don't worry, after election we'll vote for Atiku. You saw the jokers that he congregated for his election. He chopped the money, chopped everything, nothing. The worst result ever recorded for him in the Southwest. Now,